look, it's starting to rain. Peppa and George are a bit sad because they can't play outside. They're watching the big raindrops splash down from the window. Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig are reading their newspapers. Mummy, it stopped raining. Can we go out to play? Peppa asks excitedly. All right, says Mummy Pig, but you must wear your raincoats. Hooray! Peppa and George love playing outside, especially after it rains. Peppa and George are getting ready. They need their boots. Peppa has her bright yellow boots, and George has his little red ones. They look so smart. Now they're ready for some puddle fun. Have a good time, calls Daddy Pig. And don't get too muddy, asks Mummy Pig with a smile. Peppa and George rush outside into the garden. The sun is peeking out from behind the clouds, making everything sparkle. Wow, look at that! The garden is full of puddles. Big puddles, small puddles, and all of them are perfect for jumping in. I'm going to find the biggest muddy puddle in the whole wide world, declares Peppa. She spots a really big one right in the middle of the lawn. This looks like a good one, she giggles. She takes a deep breath and, jump, splash, mud flies everywhere. Peppa is covered in mud from her nose to her toes. Muddy puddles are the best. She squeals with delight. George sees Peppa having so much fun and wants to join in. He finds a smaller puddle just for him. He wiggles his toes inside his red boots and then, a little jump splash, George giggles. He loves muddy puddles just as much as Peppa. Peppa comes over to see. George, that's a nice little puddle, but mine is much bigger and splashier, she says proudly. Peppa shows him again, jumping even higher this time. Splash! A huge wave of muddy water goes all over George. Oh dear, George doesn't look very happy. He starts to cry. Oh George, Peppa says, feeling a bit bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to splash you so much. But George is still sad. His face is all wet with tears and muddy water. Peppa thinks for a moment. I know. Let's find a puddle we can jump in together. She takes George's hand and leads him to a medium-sized puddle. Ready, George. 1, 2, 3, jump. They jump in together, holding hands, splash. They both get muddy, and this time George is laughing. Puddle jumping is much more fun when you do it together. Suddenly they hear a familiar oink. It's Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig. They've come outside to see what all the splashing is about. Goodness me, says Mummy Pig, looking at her two very muddy little piglets. You two are having a wonderful time. Daddy Pig chuckles. It looks like you've found some excellent muddy puddles. Peppa and George run up to them, their boots squelching with every step. Daddy, Mummy, come and jump with us, Peppa invites. Oh, I don't know, Peppa, says Daddy Pig, looking down at his clean, shiny shoes. I'm not wearing my boots, Peppa giggles. But Daddy, it's fun. You have to try it. She gives him a little push towards the biggest puddle. Go on, Daddy Pig. Cheers, George. Daddy Pig looks at Mummy Pig, who just shrugs and smiles. All right, he says. But just one jump. Daddy Pig takes a run up. He wiggles his bottom and prepares for a giant leap. Look out, Puddles, here I come, he shouts. And then hoomp. Daddy Pig lands right in the middle of the biggest, muddiest puddle of them all. It's the biggest splash of the day. Mud goes absolutely everywhere. It splashes onto Peppa, onto George, and even onto Mummy Pig. Now everyone is covered in mud. Daddy Pig is sitting in the puddle, looking very surprised. Then he starts to laugh. A big booming laugh that shakes his big tummy. That was fun! He roars. Seeing Daddy Pig so muddy makes everyone laugh. Mummy Pig, who was trying to stay clean, now has mud spots all over her dress. Oh, Daddy Pig, she says, wiping a bit of mud from her cheek. You are a very silly daddy, but she's smiling. Peppa and George think it's the funniest thing they've ever seen. They start splashing around Daddy Pig, making even more of a mess. The garden is now a wonderland of mud and happy giggles. My turn, announces Mummy Pig. Everyone stops and stares. Mummy Pig is going to jump in a puddle? Hooray! Cheer Peppa and George. Mummy Pig carefully picks a nice round puddle. She doesn't take a big run-up like Daddy Pig. She does a small, graceful jump. Splash! It's a very elegant splash, but she still gets her boots muddy. Now the whole family is muddy. Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, and Daddy Pig are all standing in puddles, covered in lovely gooey mud. This is the best rainy day ever, says Peppa. Everyone agrees. They hold hands and start jumping up and down together, singing a little song. Jumping up and down in muddy puddles, splish, splash, splash, splish, splash. They sing it over and over again, their laughter echoing through the garden. The sun is shining brightly now, making the muddy puddles gleam. What a perfect end to a rainy day. After all that jumping, everyone is feeling a little tired and very, very muddy. I think it's time to go inside and get cleaned up, says Mummy Pig. And maybe have some hot chocolate. Hooray for hot chocolate! Shout Peppa and George. Daddy Pig tries to get up out of the big puddle, but he's a bit stuck. Uh-oh, he says, wiggling around. I think I'm stuck in the mud. Peppa and George find this hilarious. Silly Daddy. They giggle. Mummy Pig, Peppa, and George all grab one of Daddy Pig's hands. Okay, on the count of 3 we all pull. Says Mummy Pig. 1, 2, 3. With a big heave and a final squelch, Daddy Pig pops out of the mud. They all tumble backwards onto the soft, wet grass, laughing. What an adventure. Finally, the muddy family heads back inside the house, leaving a trail of muddy footprints all the way to the door. Inside, it's time for a nice warm bath. The bathtub is filled with bubbles. Peppa and George splash around, washing all the mud off. They tell Mummy Pig all about their puddle adventure, which puddle was the deepest and whose splash was the biggest. Of course, they all agree Daddy Pig's splash was the champion splash of the day. After their bath, they put on their warm, dry pajamas. They look so cozy and clean now. Downstairs, Mummy Pig has made delicious hot chocolate with marshmallows for everyone. They all sit on the sofa, sipping their warm drinks. Outside, the sun is beginning to set, painting the sky with beautiful colors of orange and pink. Peppa snuggles up to Mummy Pig. Mummy, I love muddy puddles, she says sleepily. I know you do, my little Peppa, Mummy Pig replies, giving her a kiss on the forehead. Even though the day started with rain, it turned into one of the best days ever, all thanks to some wonderful, glorious muddy puddles. And as they finish their hot chocolate, Peppa and George are already dreaming of the next time it rains. Thanks for watching with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun adventures.